Hey everybody, it's James here from NeuralNet Games, and today we're talking even more amazing, fun, great, helpful, solving problems type of house rules. What I'm saying is that there's no real theme. They're just house rules I think are useful for a variety of different situations. And for those of you who haven't watched my other videos, I've got my 5 favorite Gloomhaven house rules. I'll put a link down in the description. Make sure and go and check it out. And also, number 1 on this one, I feel like it's almost necessary if you really want to experience all of the content in Gloomhaven. And so make sure you stick around to that part. I think, and maybe this is going to be controversial, I don't know, but I think that there's a mechanic in the game that just does not work well at all, and I'm going to recommend you essentially skip that mechanic. All right, that's enough. That's enough teasers. Let's get started. Let's get to number 5. At number 5, we have Nerf Invisibility. So for those of you who don't know, you can go and block a doorway, and that stops, regular monsters, non-flying monsters from being able to find a focus because they can't move through invisible characters. This is a very powerful way of safely opening doors all the time, and it's a mechanic that gets abused a lot. So for those of you who are a little further into the game, you're finding it a little bit easy, maybe you've already cranked up the difficulty and it's still too easy, you can nerf invisibility with one kind of simple tweak, and that is invisible characters are considered obstacles. And obstacle rules state that you can't block off a portion of the map with an obstacle. And that stops you from going invisible in a doorway and, making sure the monsters can't find a focus unless they're flying. So this really helps nerf invisibility to a reasonable degree. Probably not quite far enough still, but I think if you start doing more than just this one simple rule, it gets a little bit complicated and it gets a little bit convoluted. So I would recommend just treat invisible characters as obstacles, and then invisibility still has the rest of its amazing benefits like monsters can't attack you and you're 100% safe and all that good stuff. At number 4, we have don't reshuffle city and road events. So when you do a city or road event, when you complete it, you have 2 options. There's a little tear card symbol, and that means get rid of the card. Do not tear the card up. I know some people have done that. They must have pandemic legacy habits or something. Don't tear the card. It's removed forever. Then, if there is no tear card symbol, you are supposed to put the card on the bottom of the deck. And then when you add city and road events via retirement or whatever, you're supposed to reshuffle the deck. This means city and road events you've already played can be reshuffled. My group, we never wanted to do that. We were like, there's enough events that we want to experience something new every time and not have this weird looper deja vu kind of deal where we know the outcome of the card because we've reshuffled it in. So I would recommend you just keep those in a separate section. And if you ever run out of cards, you can reshuffle it and play it again. That never happened to us. We never ran out of cards, and so we just had 2 separate piles, the discard forever and the discard probably forever. At number 3, we have retire anytime after you reach level 9. Exact numbers up to you. I've seen a bunch of numbers thrown out there. I just think this is a nice quality of life rule for 2 reasons. One, there's a bunch of personal quests out there that you can't really do sometimes. You may be at a certain point in the game where you have not seen a certain enemy type, and the personal quest is like, kill these enemies. And so you get stuck with a class for far too long, and you're at level 9 for like 10, 15 scenarios, crazy stuff like that. And so you don't really want that to happen. One of the best parts about Gloomhaven is the fact that you can unlock all these cool new classes and try new things and just that excitement. And then on the flip side, you can have a guy who, has that personal quest and is like, I'm cool with that. I just want to play this class until the end of time. And other people are like, no, I would like to play that class too. And so you can be like, no, you can retire. Don't worry about it. It's all good. You don't have that excuse anymore. At number 2, we have allow enhancement stickers to be removed. And there's no benefit and there's no penalty to this. It's just get your fingernail out and slowly peel it off so you don't wreck the card. Why would you want to do this? You're thinking, why? Why would I want to do this? Well, sometimes people want to enhance cards a certain way. And let's say somebody's enhanced the top of a card and it's a loss and it's a nonsensical +1. You're like, why would you enhance a loss with a +1? Well, you were a complete noob, or the person who did the enhancement was a complete noob at the time. And that happened in my campaign for sure. I go back and look at some of our enhancements from year 1 and I'm like, it makes me want to cry. Maybe I'm going to go back and look when I edit this video and we'll see if I can flash the occasional one up here, or a couple up or something like that. So, you know, you may want to remove them because they don't make sense and they're impacting the next person's enjoyment of the class. There is a maximum number of enhancements, right? So, you know, some crappy enhancements could be blocking you from actually enhancing other cards because you're up against that limit, or it could even be costing you a bunch more. Like, you know, like I said, you've got a loss on the top and it's enhanced with a +1. Well, you may actually want to do something else with that loss that actually makes sense. So it's a bit of a later game house rule, but one I think that at a certain point, a lot of players are actually going to find useful. At number 1, we have cheat once you open envelope X. And I won't go too far into spoilers here, but essentially there's a puzzle in Gloomhaven. It's a puzzle that you have to solve, and it's a puzzle that is laid out very poorly. Everyone knows I love Gloomhaven, and I think Isaac Childress, I mean, he's clearly a genius designer, not facetiously at all. Like, he built this game almost all by himself, and it is a massive feat, and it's so well designed for one person. But this is just one of those mechanics or one part of the game that just doesn't make sense. It's a poorly laid out puzzle. You can easily miss parts of it, and you play Gloomhaven for like years to finish it at any sort of reasonable normal rate. And you can't just go back and finish it for most people. You can't go back and figure it out. You just can't. It's not a possible thing to do. So do not feel bad. Go and cheat. Google the solution and just go with it, and you'll appreciate it because you'll get to experience more content in Gloomhaven. That's it. That's number 1. I think that one's just so important that people don't feel guilty about that and aren't like, well, I should have been able to figure it out. No. You might have done nothing wrong and you would still have a very difficult time if you just got unlucky. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video, and a special thank you to my subscribers and my patrons. I couldn't do it without you.